Okay, so good evening, everyone. You might notice my voice is not the same as normal. That's because I'm Tim Freeburn. I'm not Claire Pollard. I'll be rambling on the microphone tonight. Unfortunately, Claire is in hospital at the moment with a back problem. She just went to A&E a couple of hours ago. I don't really know too much about it yet, so surely she'll let me know info via WhatsApp. So apologies if my phone buzzes and I go quiet for a bit, and also apologies that you have to listen to me, and I apologise if I don't make too much sense. My mind's not quite on this at the moment. I'm a little bit elsewhere, so having said that, welcome to the final testing round of Formula Pi. So let me try and figure out what Claire does, because she's amazing at all of this, and I'm not so brilliant at it, but hopefully I can make it work.
Okay, ready when you are.
Yeah, okay. We are apparently ready, so now I can do the spin view for the first one. And there we are. So, the first robot up is Bebot, and from Painted Post in New York, and this is certainly one of my favourite lids. It actually has a little diamond sort of thing in the centre of it. You can't quite tell from the photo. I suppose we should have put a 3D diamond in that view, but anyway, we didn't. Lots of love for Claire. Yeah, thank you, everyone. What can I say? They're from the USA, and they've been doing quite well. So, shall we spin out and get on with it? Right. So now I have to do this thing of deleting that one, so that next time when I actually run the spin view, I'll get the right robot. So. Okay, so I think if we are ready, we can call for the lights. Okay, can we have the light sequence, please?
Can we have the light sequence, please?
And off we go. There we go. And that is a nice little start. Taking the centre of the track. This looks fairly standard code. Oh no, actually it's a bit on the inside. That certainly looks like it might not be the centre lane it's tracking, although it is going quite wide on those corners there. 24.69, good time. So what are we? We have a lap record on the Yetis at the minute of tell me if I'm wrong with this, I believe it's a 22.43 from Leroux Cailly. My French is terrible, so probably need to tell me if I'm getting any of these track times wrong. But yeah, I believe 22.43 is the best time for the Yeti class, and 13.63 is the best time for the Monster Ball class. So a little bit of improvement could be made there to get up to those super fast times, but there we are. So, this is probably what's going to happen is bit of a sharp corner there. All evening I'm probably going to run out of things to say, because I'm not really like Claire and have the amazing gift of the gab. I can just sort of ramble on about nothing. Maybe I can talk about our sponsors and things like that, but IQ Audio, for example, in the back, and Mod My Pi, and SOS Solutions, and Blog Trotter, and all sorts of people. Hop Hackers, yeah, there we go. So anyway, great times. Not too bad. Does everybody like the split times that we have? Is there anything that you'd like to see or like not to see in this?
Okay, Robot 71, 2 minutes are now up. Robot 71, 2 minutes are now.
Okay, if you could swap it over, please. And that's time up for 71, and so we go into the next one. So now I'm going to find the spin view again, and it is. And now hopefully this one has 46. Look at that. That's amazing. So these are the current lap record holders for the Yetiborg class. Look at that. They've got their own painted track there, which is, you know, probably what's helping them get everything sorted correctly. With a little we're on powered, there we go. With a little Yetiborg there, that's awesome. So I did actually get an email from these guys with all of with this picture and with their 4 names, and of course I've not printed any of that out, and yeah, I'm quite useless. So apologies, I can't remember any of your names. I am terrible with names, but I've just noticed what I need to do is restart the timer. So if people can, thank you, George, for tweeting a live timing spreadsheet. Yeah, if you can tell me as well, George, to reset the timer, I've got to press X and then space. It's a really complicated process, but the problem is just remembering to actually do it. Yeah. So we are sitting there just waiting for the 2 minutes now. What can I tell you in those 2 minutes? Well, Claire's probably pointed out all sorts of things. Actually, there we go. Claire actually has written down in this the 4 people in the team: Julien, Mathieu, Patrick, and Jan, all working in aeronautics. So yeah, that would probably go a long way as to helping out here, because yeah, engineering is a great place to start this from. Right, so what can I do? What can I talk about? I will talk about some top secret info about sort of next series, etc. today, because
Okay, ready when you are.
okay, we are ready. So, all right, start light sequence, please.
Alright, start light sequence, please.
And there we go, we're off. So, what are we? 22.43 is to beat. They're going to beat themselves. Let's see. Good lines. Oh, that's a great turn there. Nice and sharp. Staying in the blue. Oh no. I wonder what went wrong there. That's just a sort of detecting probably one of the what do you call it? One of the creases in the track as being a corner. It's quite difficult to get all the lighting, etc. exactly correct. Yeah, I certainly need to change that focus on that camera. It's terrible, isn't it? You've probably complained about that, but yeah. On the split timer, we can have purple for personal best. Actually, that's a really good, yeah, really good idea. That's probably not that hard to do. I will try and do that for next season. Ooh, same sort of thing every time on that corner. Yeah, that's definitely picking up a shadow or a reflected bit of light or something. I think that's just hurting his time slightly, but yeah, 22.43, 24.1. We're not quite there. That focus is terrible. Sorry about that, everyone. What basically happened is I bought a load of cameras. I bought 4 cameras, which were great, and so I went and tried to buy another 2 cameras, and I couldn't buy the same ones anymore. They told me there'd be at least a 3-month delay on getting the cameras, and that was a bit of a shame. So I had a bit of a experiment with 2.
46, 2 minutes are now up. Okay, robot 46.
Okay, swap it over, please. Yeah, I had an experiment with 2 different cameras, and unfortunately they seem to be blurry on one side of the lens, and there's not really too much I can do with that. Obviously I need to be streaming cameras, but the biggest problem with them is that we actually need them to be a low light camera, because rather than lighting the track with lots of bright lights, what we're trying to do is light the ceiling and use diffused light on the track, so that we don't get much shadows and that sort of thing. And because of that, the track isn't very brightly lit, and most cameras just aren't quite up to the task. So yeah.
Okay, robot 40 is now powered.
40 is powered. Okay, so I need to hit that and that, X and space. There we go. Difficult work. Right. So what can I talk about? Well, I can talk about sponsors. I talked about sponsors. If you do want to sponsor, if anyone is out there who would like to sponsor us, it would. Thank you, George. It would really help us. We don't make any money out of Formula Pi. We do this purely for the entertainment value and to get people knowing our name and that sort of thing. We rely on other people to help us out, and from as little as £200, that gets your logo around the track, and we chat about you and we say nice things and that sort of thing. But the point is, you're actually helping make this whole thing possible. So so there we go. That's the sponsorship bit. Just helps keeping this all running. So we're probably about 2 minutes. I don't know, it's really hard. Behind the microphone is actually a hard job, and Claire is amazing at it. I really think she has some natural talent there, and I'm pretty sure I do not. But anyway, there we are. So oh, there we go. There's one thing. See, straight away, I forgot, haven't I? I haven't done the spin view.
Okay, ready when you are. Okay, ready when you are.
See, that's 46, and that's not the right one, is it? I'm terrible at this. Claire's amazing at it. There we go. Okay, so this is the next one coming up. I love that parrot in the top right there. That's amazing. So sage and onion stuffing mix there. That makes my day. So Pexo parrot number 40 from Pool. Fantastic. That lid is just gorgeous. Very nicely decorated. Obviously put a lot of time and effort into drawing that, and it's very nice. So don't put yourself down, that's what they are for. Yeah, that's great. Right, so let's go. Start light sequence, please. So colours: yellow equals standard, green equals best, magenta overall best in the session. Yeah, okay, that's probably not a bad idea. We will. Ooh, bit of a lighting problem, perhaps. That's certainly one thing we've noticed is with the Raspberry Pi cameras, what you get is with the start lights on, it basically they're so bright that the camera is sort of altering its standard. Oh, look at that! Crashed straight into the wall. Recover nicely though. The camera is sort of altering its balance, and it sort of is finding it hard because basically the entire track looks, if you've got green lights on, the entire track looks a bit green. So what happens is you start driving along, and we switch the lights off, and all of a sudden the light levels have changed, and then everything looks grey, and so it finds it hard to see the track again, and all of a sudden it goes left or right, kind of like what this is doing right now. Yeah, occasionally nice, occasionally all over the place. It can be to do with camera levels, it can be to do with control settings. Not every robot is identical to each other. Unfortunately, we try as hard as we can to match them. But there are things out of our control. So, for example, the cameras might not come out of the factory exactly the same. The motors might not come out of the factory exactly the same, and our motor controllers, well, they're pretty good, but they might not be exactly the same as each other. And so all of these factors. This is very normal in engineering. Is that you're trying to deal with some unknowns and.
Okay, robot 40. 2 minutes are now up.
Okay, if you could swap it over, please.
Okay, if you can swap it
So
over,
there we go. I hit the X to cancel that, and there we go. 35, 31, 30, and 30. 30.49. Terrible. That is quite good. So reset that, and now we are on to the first of the monsters. Delete that, save that, and right, on to the next person. So this is Sonic from Kawasaki in Japan. Let's find this spin view and run that. There we go. Shadowhawk. Hi everyone, what I did here was...
robot 59 is now powered.
Thank you, okay. What I did here was that code bug fix that was sent out last week. Looks like I'm rolling back the previous code. Fair enough. So, yeah, 59, Sonic from Japan with 18 years of coding experience, which is quite a lot. Their hobbies, looking for an interesting T-shirt. That's a hobby, is it? I guess it is. Their decoration is quite amusing, you must admit. So, yeah. What can we see? Strategy, Pure Heart. I think Claire's mentioned that one before. Is that just for the love of it, I wonder? Pure Heart. I'm not sure. So, Sonic Goku. Their favourite car, a Flying Nimbus. When a Flying Nimbus does not have a pure heart, I cannot run it. Okay. Okay, so... what have I done? Oh no, I've crashed everything. Let me try and fix this. That was 59. There we go. Okay, so we're very lucky we have a Tufty. I still haven't got any news from her.
Okay, ready whenever you are.
Okay, could you start the lights, please?
Okay, can you start the lights, please?
So we're off, and monsters really are quicker, aren't they? Nicely into the S's there, into Backbreaker, into Headbanger, down the main street, and 15.95. Well, that's not a record breaker, but it's a good lap, and that's a nice, very, very nice line around there. This is looking solid. This is really good. 14.63. Yeah, that only what, a couple of weeks ago that would have been the lap record. This series certainly is getting better and better every time we run. 14.27. That's good. Every time we run, people are really improving their code. So yeah, it will be really interesting to see what the winning code is. 1446. See, nice, stable sort of times from each. Bit of a delay from you speaking to hearing from the track mics. What do you mean by that, Stephen? From me talking, so I'm actually watching a delayed image, and the audio should be delayed to correlate with the car. So if the car crashes, or when it starts off the start line, it should be sounding like they are matched. Where I am talking shouldn't really be matched, except for what I'm commenting on is, it's now gone right, turning left, now gone right again. So yeah, we need to make sure that's matched.
2 minutes are now up.
Okay, swap it over, please. But apart from that, we probably don't care too much about delay, unless it all sounds wrong somehow. When I radio, it goes upstairs, and then you probably catch that what Aaron says before you catch what's coming out of me, because I'm delayed in 2 seconds with respect. I'm delayed by 2 seconds with respect to what's coming from upstairs, so that would make a lot of sense. Normally you shouldn't hear that, because what's on this radio normally comes into my earphone, and I try and be fairly quiet talking to Aaron, but yeah, cool. Okay, not a big issue. Right, so 74. I've got to do the spin view thing. Hit the save button here. Spin view. Hi Tris, how you going? It's me tonight because yeah, Clary is in hospital with some back pain. It could be a slip disc or something, we're not really sure at the minute. I'll let everyone know as soon as I know. But for the moment, we've got Lambda P Racing. Yeah, awesome team. Basically, this is non-standard code, very much non-standard. So that is quite exciting, quite interesting. This is what we want to see. We want to see lots of people doing all sorts of different things, and all competing against each other. Madkin, hi. That's Hannah. Okay, so we are not quite there yet, are we? We need that 2 minutes. Yeah, I know, poor Clary. It is Java, yes. Yeah, Lambda P is writing in Java, and yeah, writing everything, I guess, from scratch.
Ready whenever you are.
Okay, you start lights, please. Unfortunately, not in the chat at the minute, so they're not talking, or I haven't seen them in the chat anyway. But anyway. Well, this certainly looks different to last week's. It looks a bit more agile, sort of trying to a bit sort of more of a yeah, less smooth on actually trying to follow lines. If indeed that's what he's trying to do, is follow lines, may not be at all. That certainly did seem to change lanes. Okay. Oh, that's, yeah, okay. So what I'm liking about that is that just stopped then, and basically stopped dead for a second and then kept going. And what that will be is collision avoidance code. There we go, did it again. And what it's doing is seeing the shadows. There's a slight shadow cast from the gantries over the start lights and things like that. Now, why that is good is basically what you have there is a decent sort of collision avoidance code. And because Formula Pi is a sport which is all about consistency, that's really what we reward is consistency. Basically, avoiding other robots, avoiding crashing into them is what's going to get you the points, because sort of sitting on the side of a track crashed is probably not... I guess that spin did look like it could have been intentional. Okay, swap it over, please. I think that was a little donut at the end of a couple of laps, just to give us a bit of entertainment. That was awesome. So yeah, that is great code, and that's certainly the sort of code that should actually win a series. What it really should do is definitely get you into the finals, because your consistency, your accumulative points would be much higher if you're avoiding crashing all the time. It's not always the case.
Okay, robot 72 is now powered.
72, yeah, it's not always the case, because it is racing after all, so there is certainly an element of luck. But yeah, so 72 IQ Audio. These guys sponsor us, and yeah, I very much like that lid. Nice black lid with sort of reverse white. It looks great in the flash. I'm not sure these pictures really do it justice, but yeah. Awesome audio add-ons for Raspberry Pi. Clara's probably told you, go and check out their website. It's very much worth it. DACs and ADCs. So yeah, great. Because sound matters, that's their tagline, and it does. So, timer, yes, thank you. Let's hit that. Timer is ready. Haha. Excellent. Right. So, what we got now? Okay. Right. Okay, ready when you are. Light sequence, please.
Okay, ready when you are. Light sequence, please.
So I take it we're waiting for the 2 minutes, and there we go. A nice wide line, first corner, probably to avoid all the other cars that are smashing into each other on the inside line, and then nicely into the inside. There we go. So that is the right sort of approach, isn't it? Add to that some decent collision avoidance code, and I think that's potentially a winner. Yeah, out 17 flat. So yeah, it's certainly not the fastest time we've seen around, but as I said, this quite a lot of this is about consistency, and oh my goodness, I really can't believe just how out of focus that shot is. I normally get to see these pictures in sort of 1/6 of a screen resolution, and I didn't realise just how bad some of them are. And it's just sort of heat and cold expansion, etc. is changing the focus of the lenses, and I could probably just spend a minute tidying them up, and it would probably look a lot better. So I will do that before the final. Well, finals are next week, aren't they? So Monday the 17th, usual time is 6:30 in the UK, is the eliminations. So that's, again, this sort of thing, time trials of the top 10. Top 5 times from monsters will make it through to the final. Yetis we will run, even though there's only 5 of them, we'll still run them all, just to get the times. And then on Wednesday...
Okay, Robot 72, 2 minutes are now... Okay, Robot 72...
Okay, swap it over, please.
Okay, swap it over, please.
So, now I'm going to hit the timer. X, space. Difficult job. There we go. Then... remove that. Delete that. See, Claire does an awesome job. She's really good at doing 2 things at once, and I'm very much a sequential sort of person. I can do one thing and that's pretty much it. One thing quite badly. There we go. So yeah, next up is the IT guy, who is the lap.
Robot 67 is now
the lap record holder. Of 13.63, which is fantastic. He lives in the USA. He was born in the UK, in Kent. I moved to the USA in 2003. I was born in Australia. I moved to the UK in 2003 as well. I think it was 2000. Yeah, 2003. Yeah. So there you go. Right, so let's run the spin view for that. And have I done the right thing? I have. Look at that. Hey. So that is a very nice lid. What do you call that? It's not dip dye, is it? It's just, I don't know what you call that, but it's a really cool looking lid. I really like the lids that that come in through various channels of different sort of very different approaches to what people are putting on them, and the same sort of thing with code actually. We very much like the lids. We like how people decorate them, and that everyone has a sort of a different style. And that makes Formula Pi quite unique and quite interesting, I think. And so, yeah, we very much appreciate the effort that people put into these. And some of the lids are just fantastic to look at. I hope you all agree. But yeah.
Okay, ready when you are.
Okay, start light sequence, please.
Okay, start light sequence, please.
And I have done the timer, which is good. Be a shame if I didn't catch the time of this. That's a good line. Great line there. Similar sort of problem. I think we might be high in the shadows today. I'm not entirely sure why, but oh no! Oh no! It's all gone wrong. He's flipped upside down. Oh dear! And now we're running the wrong way. So now here's where I would normally switch the cameras. So I can try and remotely switch them. There we go. So this is normally my job, is switching cameras and trying to keep everything interesting, which is yeah, normally quite easy, but because I'm actually watching something delayed by a few seconds, this is now an impossible task. So yeah. but that's quite a tight line. Very, very tight on the inside there, isn't it? Yeah. Stephen Swinley saying that happened when he got too close to the inside. I think that is very much the risk. Too close to the wall does mean you're very likely to flip, and it is. Yeah, again, bang into it. It's luck of the draw whether you flip up and flip over or just bounce off it, isn't it? But I take it you've gone for a lane of that's sort of 1, isn't it? Well, sorry, we've got 0 in the centre, so that's.
Okay, robot 67, 2 minutes are now up. Robot 67, 2 minutes.
Okay, if you could swap it over, please.
Okay,
Right, so delete that one. Save that one. And no, don't do that because I've already done that. So I've probably broken everything now because I just did the wrong thing. I just told it that we would like to start Formula Pi from scratch. Yes, no, we don't want to do that. There we go. Okay, so Halo Goodalls. There we are.
robot
With
33 is now powered.
hey. So with that awesome decoration of what looks like a War of the Worlds robot, I think that's fantastic. 3 legs out the top of a. Could it be a UFO? Yeah, I'm not sure. But it is 3D printed. Again, this is one of those lids where I think the Java rendering here actually wants a bit of a 3D object to it, so you can see that it's not just a 2D lid. But yeah, that is rather cool. Right, so that's that one. So that is that one. That one. Not quite getting the hang of this, but doing something anyway. Right, were we ready to go? Is that 2 minutes, or are we still waiting?
Is that 2 minutes, or are we still waiting? You have about 40 seconds left.
Okay, so no, it's not 2 minutes, 40 seconds, and I can chat about something. So, where was I up to for next week? Usual time on Wednesday for the top 5 from each racing against each other. The results from that will determine first, second, and third. And we'll be sending trophies out for first, second, and third to everyone. I don't know whether you saw the trophies last week. If you didn't, I'll tell you what, I will throw a. See if that works.
Okay, ready when you are.
Does that work? No, it doesn't. That's an interesting one. I've got this drag here thing, but it obviously didn't work. It doesn't matter. Okay, can you start the light sequence, please?
Okay, can you start the light sequence, please?
Right. Good lines again. Yeah, great line. 16.64, and that is the first lap. Quite often, it shouldn't be the fastest. The batteries do actually depreciate in power over time, but they are fairly consistent. They might have a little bit of extra charge at the start, and then they run for a couple of hours pretty much identical. So there's a possibility in the first 1 or 2 laps they're a little bit quicker, and then they should pretty much just do the same times. If your code was, well, if it was possible to get a mechanical device doing the same thing every time, it should do approximately the same sort of laps. each time. But the problem is it's not always easy to get a mechanical device, or especially one that's that has a computer attached to it, processing the same time or the same way every time. Real world problems get involved, and we get very big variances between them. But the first lap should be a little bit slower because you're actually starting from a standing start, and the next lap you come around, you're actually you've got a bit of momentum, so you should probably get the fastest lap time on your second lap around. That's by my reckoning anyway. In which case they've pretty much done that. 15.75, and
okay, robot 33, 2 minutes are now up. Okay, robot 33, 2 minutes.
Okay, swap it over, please.
Okay, swap it over, please.
Nice tracking around first corner. Is that control? Oh, look, it's Tufty in the chat. Live from A&E. I've got no images, but can post one message at least. Good luck, everyone. Claire, let us know how you are. Are you okay? Do you know anything? Well, she's probably sitting in A&E not knowing anything herself. I thought I would have been WhatsApped. There you go. Everyone is...
Hey, robot 22 is now powered. Hey, robot 22.
Everyone is more important than me. We get the live chat first, and I still haven't got a WhatsApp message to say that she's okay. So, there. High praise indeed. So, we are now on to 22, Russ Parastel and Fiano. Tim is doing great, but hope to see you back soon. Yes. Thanks, George. Okay, spin view for that one. Does that work? There we go. So, Russ Parastel and Fiano were third last time, weren't they? Certainly know their stuff, know what they're doing, and glad to have them potentially in the final. So that is a really cool logo there with the devil with the Raspberry Pi head, and a beach ball next to it, just because it's a summer series, I guess. But awesome stuff. Right, so I delete this. Done. See, Claire doesn't give you a running commentary of what she does she? X space. Right. Okay. Oh, I'm getting a WhatsApp message from Claire. Okay, just one moment, everyone.
Okay, we are ready when you are. Okay, we are ready when you are.
I'll tell you what, I can start the racing and then I can read the message. Okay, can you start light sequence, please?
Okay, can you start light sequence, please?
Ooh, straight onto the inside line. A little bit wide on the S's, but not bad at all. Tight around back breaker, and oh no, it's all gone wrong at the end of the straight. It was a good first lap, and now you're going backwards. But oh dear. So now this is excuse me for a minute. Alright, so, yep. good news is that it doesn't look like there's anything too bad with Clary. Yeah, I don't need to worry too much there. So, okay, I can concentrate back on this, and now it looks like we're going the right direction with... I said that. This is commentator's curse, isn't it? We were going in the right direction, now we are not. So, yeah, it's a bit difficult to change the cameras, as I said, because I actually have a delayed input. I'm sorry, the input is live and what I'm seeing is delayed. But yeah, we're heading in the right direction again, so that's good that it's fairly quickly sorted out. So it's definitely shadow at the shadow over the top of the start gantry. That's 3 times in exactly the same place. That certainly looks like.
Okay, Robot 22, 2 minutes are up. Okay, Robot 22,
yes.
2 minutes are up.
So if everyone can hear that, that is rain on... swap robots, please. That is rain on the roof, just directly above the Formula Pi track. Is a sort of a big, I would say metal roof, but it's not metal. It's some sort of, I don't know, space age from the 70s. But anyway, it certainly is very loud, and we've got 2 cardioid mics upstairs that pick up pretty much every background sound there is. I'm pretty sure if I speak loud enough down here...
Robot 58 is now powered. You might want to check the chat about sound levels upstairs.
Yeah. There we go. Let's turn that down a bit. Is that a bit better for everyone? Hopefully it is. So yeah, I've turned that down a little bit. Hopefully it's good level. Unfortunately, I don't have any sort of indication. I've got no feedback to me, so I'm just guessing. You know, the knob was at about 50%. It's now at about 35%. So yeah, tell me if that's good or tell me if it's bad. Anyway, so what I should do is do the spin view here, which is it's the roof watertight. It is actually. It's got 2 layers, so it is quite watertight. It is a very large shed, but it is actually like a double glazed. It still gets very hot in summer and very cold in winter, but certainly not as hot as it does in Sydney, Australia. That's why I ran away from that place, is because it was very, very hot. I spent 28 years in Australia, and the sort of 35-40 degree days got a bit too much for me, and I decided I wanted something a little bit colder. So, but these guys look like they're enjoying the sea and the sand and the surf, and yeah, hopefully enjoying Formula Pi as well. So that's Moto Toasty.
Okay, ready when you are.
Okay, if you could start light sequence, please. I almost forgot to do the timer. Thank you, Georges. Just in time. Okay, if the rain's easing off, I'll turn it up a little bit. There we go. So that's good. Good lines. Really good lines. Oh, I'm liking this. That's good. $15.71. See, that's actually a really good time. It's just that the IT guy has just got phenomenal time. I actually don't know how you've done that. It's quite amazing. Well done. 15.7. See, that's another superb time. Now out quite wide and then in sharp. Yeah, certainly a few different line. I wonder what this code is. I haven't actually seen this code. So Aaron could probably tell us all about it. But we don't want... Oh, that's great. That was a great... We don't want to give too much away, do we? 1488. Wow. So, yeah, it's still not good enough because that super fast lap from the IT guy is just ridiculous. But that was an awesome lap. Look at that, straight across. It's almost like it's a remote controlled car. It's just sort of doing exactly what you want it to do. 1508, another excellent lap. And then very wide. It all looks like it's got a bit wrong
Robot
there.
58, 2 minutes are now up. Okay, Robot 58, 2 minutes are now up.
So, okay, can you spot the final one, please?
Final one, please.
So I will reset the timer. It is like watching a downhill skier. It is a bit, isn't it? But yeah, I think the idea there is looks like he's in the S's changing the target lane after he's got around a right-hand turn to be the centre lane, and then back to the inside lane again. So yeah, now we are about to run 69.
Robot 69 is now powered.
Which is Saska, and that will be our final robot for the evening. And I can then go and find Claire and give her a snuggle, make everything better again. So the spin view for the final time. There we go, 69, Saska from Helsinki, Finland. Coding experience is mainly JavaScript and some .NET, but not much in Python, maybe a few years. 14-year-old with absolutely fantastic time so far in this. Doing exceptionally well, actually. So the stars on there, he said he was having a hard time thinking of anything for the decoration, so he just put some simple stars on there. 2 red, 2 black, no significance, I'm not sure. But yeah. Right, so you turned up at exactly the right time, there you go. So I have got the timer. Oh, everyone can probably see my mouse pointer on screen, so sorry about that. I think we are ready to go when Aaron gives us the 2 minutes. It's a long time, 2 minutes, but we actually have to give them enough time to boot up. It's certainly what makes the testing sessions long.
Okay, ready when you are. Okay.
All right, start light sequence, please.
Alright, start light sequence, please.
And off he goes. Sharp, bit wide on the S's. Everyone seems to get back breaker fairly much right. It's good. That's wide than tight in. That's all right. That's just a bit wide around those S's, I think. The back breaker's looking good. Headbanger's looking good. Maybe a little bit wide onto the straight, probably because you got centre lane as the target lane. 15.78. Certainly not a bad time at all. .8. So yeah. certainly wide out the front at the end of the straight, quite wide, and then tight in back into the first corner. I wonder if that's intentional or not. See, that's much better. But that looks again like a little bit of detection code might have set off. It did seem to stop or slow down at least for a bit. So I wonder if that's getting some shadows again. It is actually quite difficult to determine whether it's another robot or a shadow or something like that just from image processing. Certainly with the amount of image processing power we've really got to play with. We've got sort of 20 to 30 frames a second, which is pretty much enough, but it could be better. 18.2 on the last lap. We are looking at
Okay, robot
17.25. Okay, take the robot off, please.
Okay.
Right, so that is that is it. Yeah, backbreaker. Oh, too soon. See, this is actually what we gave these corners names, because when we were actually painting it all along that back straight, it's quite low, and so you're always sort of leaning down to get out of the way of the ceiling, and so you just seem to break your back on that straight, and come home with a really sore back after it. And headbanger is fairly obvious. There's a nice metal pole which you can see in some of the other shots that we constantly hit our head against. But anyway, so is that everything? Well, what can I say? Would anyone like to know any top secret information? I could probably tell you some, because Tufty's not here, and I need something to talk about, but this is all to be confirmed. But so far, next season, we're looking at removing the Grand Prix class, but keeping the monster class. Now, why is that, you might ask? Well, we are looking at adding another class. So I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but we'll let you know some more details about that as soon as we can. We'll have some new sponsors to talk about, some really great names. More to come on that. So all of this is going to be lots more to come. I can't tell you anything. That's all wrong, isn't it? Well, so sponsors. We're looking at running a localized GPS next time, and we actually have a sponsor for this as well. Well, I'm not supposed to tell you, but it's one of those days. So POSIX, POZYX, we are going to have some POSIX sensors around the track, and so this will certainly help out a lot of people when it all goes wrong, especially after a crash, when you're stuck somewhere in the track, you don't know where you are. Well, the POSIX will give you a position on the track. You'll know to sub-centimeters, millimeters, whatever, I don't know, where you are, and it'll be fairly easy to determine what direction you're going. So I think that'll be a really cool addition. If all goes well, we'll also have some velocity vector inputs from the inertial measurement unit. What else? We're still waiting on Microsoft to get back to us. We'll let you know what we know about that as soon as they let us know. We have an amazing thing that I can't really tell you anything about, so that's all I'll tell you. I guess I'll keep everyone informed as much as I can. Probably what the best thing would be to do is to have a mailing list, wouldn't it? Then I can actually send everyone an email with all of the information of what's coming and when it comes. So what I'll probably do is put up a mailing listing on the Formula Pi website. then you can sign up and then get all the information as soon as I know. So you can get all of the top secret information as soon as we know it, or as soon as we reveal it, which it won't really be top secret anymore, will it? Because we'll be revealed it. But anyway, so that's probably everything. We'll see you again on Monday. Don't forget that we need to have code by Friday for the eliminations. The code sent in on Friday will be used for both the eliminations and the final. If you make it to the final, we'll rewrite the SD card after the elimination with the same code that you submit this Friday. Since it's a short time between the 17th and the 19th, we might not be able to send you logs from the 17th, but anyhow, that is probably about it. Other than that, YouTube, like, share, subscribe, that sort of thing. Go and knock on your neighbour's door and say, hey, watch Formula Pi or else, or something like that. Help us out any way you can. And so yes, well done, Timmy. You've been a good pretend Clary. Well, certainly not as good as Clary is, but hopefully it hasn't been too boring. And thank you for sticking around and listening to my blabber. So I will say good night, everyone, and thanks for watching. Bye.